Now, Asa is the third king of Judah. And when you look at Asa in 1 Kings 15 and then 2 Chronicles 14 to 17, you're going to notice two things. First thing that you'll notice is in Kings, he's treated in a short manner, only like 15 verses. Okay. In Second Chronicles, there are almost 3 chapters. Okay, so it's going to be more information in Kings. In Kings, he is portrayed as very good. In Chronicles, he's portrayed as a king who starts off very good, but ends up very poorly. Okay, so let's look at Kings and then we'll look at Chronicles, okay? So in Kings, we have him in 1 Kings chapter 15. 1 Kings chapter 15. Now you'll remember he's the third king. Solomon was the king over all of Israel. And then there was the divided kingdom, and Rehoboam reigned, and then Abiah reigned, and now Asa reigned. Let me start reading in verse 9. In the 20th year of Jeroboam, the king of Israel, Asa became king of Judah, and he reigned in Jerusalem 41 years. So he reigned for a long time. His grandmother's name was Maacah, the daughter of Abisham. And Asa did what was right in the eyes of the Lord, as his father David had done. He expelled the male prostitutes from the land and got rid of the idols his fathers had made. He even deposed his grandmother Maacah from her position as queen mother because she had made a repulsive Asherah pole. Asa cut the pole down and burned it in the Kidron Valley. The Kidron Valley is kind of like the garbage dump. Um, Although he did not remove the high places, Asa's heart was fully committed to the Lord all of his days. He brought into the temple of the Lord the silver and the gold and the articles that he and his father had dedicated. And there was war between Asa and Baasha, the king of Israel, throughout their reigns. Baasha, the king of Israel, went up against Judah and fortified Ramah to prevent anyone from leaving or entering the territory of Asa the king. Asa then took all the gold and the silver and the gold that was left in the temple of the Lord and of his own palace, and he had entrusted it to his officials and sent them to Ben-Hadad, son of Timron, Tabrimon, the son of Hazion, the king of Aram, who was ruling in Damascus. Let there be a treaty between me and you, he said, as there was between my father and your father. See, I'm sending you a gift of silver and gold. Now break your treaty with Baasha, the king of Israel, so he will withdraw from me. Okay, the war with the north is continuing. Okay, it had been with Rehoboam and Abijah, and now with Baasha. And Baasha was being strong and was advancing his territory. And he captured part of Judah. So what Asa did is sent gold and silver across the Jordan up to Damascus and made a covenant or a treaty with the king of Damascus. They're the Arameans. And before, there had been a treaty between Baasha and Ben-Hadad. Now Ben-Hadad breaks the treaty, and now there's incursion from the north onto Dan. So he attacks from the north. What does he have to do? He then pulls his troops from the south and defends himself in the north, and that causes Asa to capture what Baasha has been building. So the plan was a good plan. It worked out well. Notice what happens. Verse 20. Ben-Hadad agreed with King Asa and sent the commanders of his forces against the towns of Israel. And he conquered Ilyon and Dan and Abel and Bath-Makkah and all of Kinneret in addition to Naphtali. And when Baasha heard this, he stopped building Ramah and withdrew to Tisra. Then King Asa issued an order to all of Judah, no one is exempt, and they carried away from Ramah the stones and the timber Baasha had been using there. And with them King Asa built up Gibeah in Benjamin and also Mizpah. And all the other events of Asa's reign and all of his achievements, all he did and the cities he built, are they not written in the annals of the kings of Judah? In his old age, however, his feet became diseased, and Asa rested with his fathers and was buried with them in the city of his father David, and Jehoshaphat his son succeeded him as king. So when we look at that, what would you say about Asa? Good king, bad king, successful?
Well, successful in some, but we're making a union with the northern kingdom is questionable.
Yeah. Now, making a treaty with the king of Aram is not good. It's not necessarily bad, but it's not good. Notice the evaluation in verse 11.
Mhm.
He did what was right in the eyes of the Lord, as his father had David done. He expelled the male shrine prostitutes from the land and got rid of the idols. He even disposed his grandmother because she had made a bad idol. Notice verse 14. Although he did not remove the high places. Yes.
And throughout the Chronicle or Kings, it is always the argument against the kings. It is always said, exactly this sentence, and they did what was good in their eyes.
Yes.
It's not just written here, so it's like a signal.
That comes from the book of Judges. They did what was right in their own eyes. And that's what he did. And did you notice he's a reformer. He reformed the land of Judah. It wasn't as bad as Rehoboam, and it wasn't as bad as Abijah. And he did do good.
I mean, it says there in verse 14, his heart was wholly devoted to the Lord all his days. I mean, how does that go together?
Well, and that's what the book of Chronicles is going to deal with. Okay, so my solution is when you look at his whole life, very positive. When you look at David's whole life, very positive. Did David do bad things? Yeah. He murdered people. And he murdered Uriah the Hittite, and he had an affair with Bathsheba. So those are things that were not okay, but taken in sum, his life was good. Okay, and one of the things I would learn from Asa is completely following God means you do everything that he wants. An incomplete reform leads you to potential problems. Now, these potential problems are not mentioned in Kings. And you'll see why in a minute.
I have a question.
Sure.
But then in verse 14, it says his heart was fully committed to the Lord. I know he can, of course, he's a sinner, he will make mistakes, but his heart was committed. So why? I mean, I thought then this is more than enough if your heart is fully committed.
Mm-hmm. But like I said, the Book of Kings looks at his life as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
And as a whole, it's good. The Book of Chronicles is going to look at the details of his life.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And that's going to be bad. But already in Kings, did you notice? His heart was right with God, but, you see that?
Mm-hmm.
But he did not
Remove the high places.
the high places.
Mm-hmm.
And so even with this good king, there's something wrong.
Yes. Cool.
And the Book of Kings is going to answer the question, why did the kingdom of Judah perish? And the Book of Kings will say it wasn't Asa's fault. He had the same problem that many of the other kings did. They didn't remove the high places. That was his responsibility. But it wasn't his fault. Okay. Now, Gabi, you had a question. Yes.
Well, just a comment. I was wondering, Asa then took all the silver and gold from the Lord's temple.
That's the second thing. Did you notice that? So is that good?
A little hint that.
Yeah, is that good? That's the second. It's a major hint for people who are reading closely. You say, that's not good. Did you notice verse 15, he brought it into the temple, the gold and the silver and the articles he and his father had dedicated. And then when he needed it, he took it back. In Kings, the author is saying, see, there's something not right. But compared to Rehoboam and Abijah and all these other kings, he's pretty good. Remember what he did with Solomon? He portrayed it really good, but he multiplied wives, he multiplied gold, he multiplied silver, he multiplied horses. He did all these things directly in contrast to what the law says. And so in Kings, he's a good king. Do you remember what I said? In Kings, in the northern kingdom, there are no good kings. Some very powerful kings, but no good kings. In the southern kingdom, there are 5 good kings, but all of them have problems. And you see in King Asa's life 2 main problems. He didn't remove the high places, and he took away the gold and the silver and used it for his purpose. But overall, pretty good. Okay? And I think in Kings, one of the things you can learn is when you want to follow God, it's all the way. Incomplete reform leads to spiritual problems. Okay? He's not really where God wants him to be. And that's going to be a problem. Okay? Now, something else that I want you to notice before we look at Chronicles. Did you notice there is no time indication of when he did that? Did you notice? No time indication. He reigned for 41 years, but there's no time indication when he did reforms. No time indication when he brought gold and silver to the temple. No time indication when there was the war between Baasha and Asa and when he went to Ben-Hadad. No time indication. In Chronicles, we're going to have time indication. Okay? So let's look at Asa in Chronicles. And Asa in Chronicles, he's going to start off in 2 Chronicles 14. Notice, let me start reading in chapter 13:21. Abijah grew in strength. So at the end of his reign, things were going well. Jeroboam died. The Lord struck him down. And verse 14, chapter 14, verse 1, Abijah rested with his fathers and was buried in the city of David, and Asa, his son, succeeded him as king. And in his days, the country was at peace for 10 years. Did you notice that was not in Kings? Now, Asa did what was good and right in the sight of the Lord. Oh, he's like the book of Kings. He removed the foreign altars and the high places. He smashed the sacred stones and cut down the Asherah poles. More information than in Kings, so very good. He commanded,
He turned down the high places. In Kings, it says he did not do that.
Well, wait just a minute. We'll get to that.
Hmm.
He commanded Judah to seek the Lord, the God of their fathers, to obey his laws and commands. We didn't find that in Kings, did we? He removed the high places and the incense altars in every town in Judah in the kingdom and was at peace under him. He built up the fortified cities of Judah since the land was at peace.
But
No
here,
one was at,
I'm
pardon?
sorry, here it says that he took away the high places.
That's
How
right.
is that?
Yeah, that's right. And you know what? The author of Chronicles wants you to notice that, because the author of Chronicles has read Kings. He's almost quoting Kings. And he's saying, this is good. This is the good part of Asa. We'll have to find out about those altars and the high places. You remember he took away the Asherah pole. He took away the male prostitutes. That's all in the beginning stages of Asa. No one was at war with him during those years. Why? For the Lord gave him rest. And when the Lord gave him rest, notice what he does. Let's work. Verse 7. Let us build up these towns and put walls around them with towers and gates and bars. The land is still ours because we have sought the Lord our God. We have sought him, and he has given us rest on every side. So they built and they prospered. Did you notice that there's a term that has occurred twice now? Did you notice it? Verse 4, he commanded Judah to seek the Lord, the God of their fathers. Notice verse 7, we sought him.
Mm-hmm.
You see that? So why are they being blessed by God? Because they are seeking after God. Their seeking after God results in their obedience to the law and the commandments. And then God gives them rest. He protects them. Now, Asa had an army of 300,000 men from Judah, equipped with large shields and spears, and 280,000 from Benjamin, armed with small shields and with bows. And all of these were brave fighting men. So when we had the peace dividend about 20 years ago, 25 years ago, we took the money and we spent it on other things. And we neglected the military. And what does Asa do? He has peace dividend. And he uses it to protect the country. He builds up his army. He builds up his forts. He does everything right. Now, for 10 years, things went well. Notice verse 9. Sarah the Cushite marched out against them with a vast army. This vast army, in Hebrew, it means with 1,000 thousands. or with an army of 1,000 times 1,000. Now, it's not a million, it's a vast army. And 300 chariots, and came as far as Marishah. So Asa is minding his own business. He's not looking for a fight. And the Cushites come to attack them. They are coming from Egypt. So they march up from Egypt across the top of the Sinai and into Philistia and attack Judah. And Asa went out to meet them, and they took up battle positions in the valley of Zethpatha near Marishah. Now, Asa is ready. His army is trained, but it is inferior, much smaller. It's 3-1. That is not good. Now, today, 3-1 odds, you can still win. You know, you have hand grenades and machine guns and all these tanks and all these things. But back then, you had bow and arrow and swords, and 3-1 is not good. Verse 11. Oh, by the way, before I read verse 11, is this mentioned in Kings? No.
No.
Not at all. Then Asa called to the Lord his God and said, Lord, there is no one like you to help the powerless against the mighty. Help us, O Lord, our God, for we are trusting in you. And in your name we have come out against this vast army. O Lord, you are our God. Do not let man prevail against you. Is that a good prayer?
Yes.
Great prayer. And what does he say? He says, God, we are depending upon you. You need to intervene and protect us. You can do it. You don't need a big army. You don't need a small army. You don't need any army. You can do it. Save us. Is that a good prayer? I think so. Can you see now why the book of Kings says he was fully devoted to God? Because when it really counted, he trusted in God. Verse 12. The Lord struck down the Cushites before Asa and Judah. The Cushites fled, and Asa and his army pursued them as far as Gerar. Such a great number of the Cushites fell that they could not recover. They were crushed before the Lord and his forces. And the men of Judah carried off a large amount of plunder. They destroyed all the villages around Gerar, for the terror of the Lord had fallen upon them. They plundered the village, since there was so much booty there. They attacked the camps of the herdsmen and carried off droves of sheep and goats and camels, and they returned to Jerusalem. Would you say they had overwhelming success? Yes. Enemies beaten. The land that the enemy had recaptured. All the booty that the enemy had left behind, they took. They were having trouble getting all the booty back home. Chapter 15. the Spirit of God came upon Azariah, the son of Oded. So this is a prophet. How do I know he's a prophet? Well, the Spirit of God came upon him. He went out to meet Asa. And he said to him, "Listen to me, Asa, and all of Judah and Benjamin. The Lord is with you when you are with him. If you seek him, he will be found by you. If you forsake him, he will forsake you." Okay, so has Asa been seeking the Lord? Yes. When the enemy came, did he seek the Lord? Yes. Did he find the Lord? Yes. He was successful. So, second lesson from Asa. If you seek the Lord, you will find him. And you will find him not being passive, but being active to intervene and to save. Then he looks back at the history of the nation. For a long time, Israel was without the true God, without a priest to teach, and without the law. But in their distress, they turned to the Lord, the God of Israel, and they sought him, and he was found by them. In those days, it was not safe to travel abroad, for all the inhabitants of the lands were in great turmoil, one nation being crushed by another, and one city by another, because God was troubling them with every kind of distress. So in the time of the judges, in the time of Samuel, in the time of Solomon and Rehoboam and Abijah, there was trouble. And why? They were not listening to God, and God sent them distress so that they would listen to him, and they chose not to. So the next lesson I would learn from Asa is this: God sends distress. And when he sends distress, there are two possible responses. One, I seek God, just like Asa did. Or the other one, we try to solve it on our own. And Solomon did that, and Rehoboam did that, and Abijah did that, and we all do that. That's the way it's been in the past. But with Asa, right now it's different. Notice what he said. But as for you, verse 7, be strong and do not give up, for your work will be rewarded. So when God blesses, there's more opportunity for work. You don't sit back and say, well, we've beaten the Egyptians, now let's take a break. Now that God has given rest and has given victory, you use what God gives you for work. You working for him. Now, what would you say if you were Asa and you've just come home from battle and you get this message? You know what I would say? I would say, Azariah, cool it. You just sit down, let us sit down. We'll get to it when we can. That's not what Asa did. Notice what he did, verse 8. When Asa heard these words and the prophecy of Azariah, the son of Oded, the prophet. Oh, remember I told you he was a prophet? It says it right there, doesn't it? He took courage. And notice after 10 years, he does this. He removed the detestable idols from the whole land of Judah and Benjamin, and for the towns he captured and the hills of Ephraim. He repaired the altar of the Lord that was in front of the portico of the Lord's temple. Did you notice him removing the idols and all? That was in Kings, not him rebuilding the altar. Remember I said Kings looks at it all together? Chronicles gives us a timeline. So after 10 years, because God has helped him, he responds to the prophet and he works. He assembled all of Judah and Benjamin and the people from Ephraim and Manasseh and Simeon who had settled among them, for large numbers had come over to him from Israel. Notice what it says. When they saw the Lord his God was with him. So he's seeking the Lord. He's doing the right thing. Things are going well. God protects him. And people say, oh, we want to be in his kingdom. And so they move over to his kingdom. And why? The Lord his God was with them. Verse 10. They assembled at Jerusalem in the 3rd month of the 15th year of Asa's reign. So after 10 years, peace, battle. Now 5 years of reform. Now they have a big feast. At that time, they sacrificed to the Lord 700 head of cattle and 7,000 sheep and goats from the plunders that they brought back. And they made a covenant to seek the Lord, the God of their fathers, with all of their heart and soul. Is that a good covenant? Yes. And all who would not seek the Lord their God were to be put to death, whether great or small, man or woman. I wonder if that's really good to say, if you don't seek the Lord, we'll kill you. That could create lots of problems with people not being really very honest. And they took an oath to the Lord with loud acclamation and with shouting and with trumpets and horns. And all of Judah rejoiced over the oath because they had sworn it wholeheartedly. They sought God eagerly, and he was found by them. So the Lord gave them rest on every side. Did you notice that verb again? They sought the Lord their God. And he was found by them. And the result is rest on every side. Verse 16. King Asa also deposed his grandmother, Maacah, from her position as queen mother, because she had made a repulsive Asherah pole. Asa cut the pole down and broke it up and burnt it in the Kidron Valley. That's like kings, isn't it? Same thing. But did you notice when it is? It's 15 years after he reigned. 15 years he's been as king. And then he does something. Although he did not remove the high places from Israel, Asa's heart was fully committed to the Lord all of his life. Oh, it's like kings. And he brought into the temple of God the silver and gold and the articles that he and his father dedicated. And there was no more war until the 35th year of Asa's reign. So would you say, before I get to your question, would you say good king? Seeking the Lord? Mm-hmm. Being found by God? Mm-hmm.
Yes, doing quite some good things.
Doing good things, causing the nation to come to God, reforming the people. Good. Great job. And things went well to his 35th year. By the way, how long did he reign? 41. So something's going to happen. So, Gabi, you had a question. Yes.
I missed something. I was reading and listening. Did you say he started only 10 years after his reign to do all these good? And
Well,
where is it written? I'm sorry, I just need
okay, yeah, no problem. I can explain to it. For 10 years, he had peace, and then he had the Ethiopians come, right?
Is it before the Ethiopian, the time indication?
That was after 10
Also,
years.
I just, okay, I got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and then notice verse 10 in chapter 15. And they assembled at Jerusalem in the 3rd month of the 15th year of Asa's reign.
Das habe ich dann, ja.
So
I got that.
from 10 years to 15 years, he's working. Yeah. And in his 15th year, he has this feast and this agreement. And then in his 15th year, he removes his grandmother. Is it good to remove the grandmother? Certainly.
Yeah.
His reform does not stop at his door. He even takes responsibility.
Is it his grandmother or his mother?
It's his grandmother.
But here it says it's his mother, the daughter.
Maybe I misread it. Let me see. Verse 16. King Asa also deposed his grandmother, Maacah, from her position as queen mother.
Wait a minute, where was that?
But what is an Asherah pole? It comes.
An Asherah pole is a female goddess that is naked and you worship at.
Is that a pole?
It's a pole.
Okay.
And you have Canaanite worship. So you have sex when you worship God.
But here in verse 16, it says also Maacah, King Asa's mother, and he removed her from being queen mother. Not grandmother.
And it's
verse 16. In
verse 16, it says, at least in my translation, his grandmother.
Oh, here it says his mother.
Yeah.
And what was in
I don't know what the Hebrew says. I don't have my Hebrew Bible here.
There is an annotation to this verse, Hebrew, his mother.
Yeah.
But we all have the translation grandmother.
Yeah.
But the annotation tells us Asterix, in Hebrew, His mother.
His mother, but we know that it was his grandmother from First Kings. Okay, because Maacah is, go back to First Kings 15. 1 Kings 15.
The daughter of Absalom.
The granddaughter of Absalom is written in the.
Okay.
So verse 10, it says the daughter. So that's
Okay.
funny.
First Kings.
Great confusion. I don't
let's
get
spin
it.
First Kings 15.
15, verse 10.
Verse
Verse 10.
10.
His mother also named Maacah, the daughter of Absalom.
And in my version, it says his grandmother was Maacah, the granddaughter of Absalom. So,
yeah, his grandmother's
And
name was
even more
Maacah,
strange.
the daughter of Absalom.
granddaughter.
His grandmother's name was Maacah, the daughter of Abishalom.
Yeah, I have the New Living, oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay.
And his grandmother's name was Maacah. Okay.
Yeah.
His
Yeah.
grandmother's name was Maacah. So that was the wife of Rehoboam. Okay. So his mother was married to Abiah. And notice in verse 15, verse 2, his mother's name was Maacah, the daughter of Abishalom.
Absalom.
See, Abiah's mother's name was Maacah, the daughter of Abishalom. So that means she has to be the grandmother of Asa.
Yeah, it depends who's mom or who's grandmom.
Yeah. So
I think
Maacah is the mother of Abijah.
Abijah, yes.
And
The
Abijah
grandmother
is the
of
father of
yes,
Asa.
yes.
So that means Maacah has to be the grandmother
Of Asa, yeah.
Asa. Okay?
Yeah.
Makes sense now?
In Hebrew, in Second Chronicles 10, verse 16, it says M. It says M.
M
M
is
means
mother.
Ima.
Mother, yeah.
But I guess it
But
really
mother
means
can
whose
mean,
mother or
doesn't
whose
necessarily,
grandmother. Yeah.
can mean grandmother or mother.
Mm-hmm.
But based on 1 Kings 15, 2, it has to be his grandmother. And she has a title. Did you notice she has a title? The Queen Mother.
Mm-hmm.
So she's the queen who's the mother of the king. Who was the king? Well, it was Abijah. And she was his mother. So she had a religious and political influence, and he said, no way, it's going to stop. Now, how difficult would that be to remove your grandmother from a position?
Difficult.
So he means business with his reform.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So up until his 35th year, would you say Asa is doing well? Is he doing okay? And why is he doing well? He's seeking God.
Mm-hmm.
He's finding God. He is using the peace that God gives him for the benefit of the country. So when God answers our prayer, That's a sign, get to work. Because God is blessing. He's giving us opportunity. When we have difficulties, then we can't expand. But when He's blessing, we use His blessing to expand, to grow, to do what we can. Notice chapter 16. In the 36th year of Asa's reign, Baasha, the king of Israel, went up against Judah and fortified Ramah to prevent anyone from leaving or entering the territory of Asa, king of Judah. We know about that. We heard about that in Kings, right? And he went to Aram and they made a covenant, and then Baasha moved to the north, and Asa came and took the building materials and used them for himself. And Asa took the gold and silver out of the treasuries of the Lord's temple and out of his own treasuries and sent it to Ben-Hadad, king of Aram, who was ruling in Damascus. And he said, "Let there be a treaty between me and you." He said, "As there was between my father and your father. See, I'm sending you gold and silver. Now break your treaty with Baasha, king of Israel, so he will withdraw from me." Oh, it's the same thing. Did you notice? The writer of Chronicles is quoting Kings. So Ben-Hadad agreed. Notice verse 6. Then King Asa brought all the men of Judah, and they carried from Ramah the stones and the timber Baasha had been using, and with them he built up Gibeah and Mizpah. And that's where Kings stops. Did you notice that? That's where Kings stops. Was his plan successful?
No, he had war.
He had war.
Well, it says.
Yeah, that's what it says. But just don't, if you don't read verse 7, was this plan against Baasha a good plan? Did it work?
It seemed to work.
It seemed to work.
In the
They
first
conquered.
place.
Yeah,
It says they
seemed to work.
conquered.
Everything seemed to be good. But now there's a commentary. And in Chronicles, commentaries come through a prophet. Notice verse 7. At that time, Hanani, the seer, that's another word for prophet, came to Asa, king of Judah, and said to him, "Because you relied on the king of Aram and not on the Lord your God, the king of Aram has escaped from your hand. Were not the Cushites and the Libyans a mighty army with great numbers of chariots and horsemen? Yet when you relied on the Lord, he delivered them into your hand." So what is the problem? You see, the problem is
It doesn't rely on God.
he didn't trust in God. He trusted in his own ability. And his own ability solved the problem.
Yeah,
So
but how
it
come,
seems.
buddy? How come? I mean, he had this great experience with the Ethiopians.
Yes. And I think that is the key to understanding Asa.
What
10
happened?
years, great. 15 years, great. 35 years, 20 years after this great revival, he forgot. He believed, as one of my professors said, he believed his press reports about himself. People say, great king, great king. He says, I'm a great king. He believed his press reports. And he forgot. And what did he forget? He forgot to trust in God.
To seek God, right? He should have sought him every time.
Yeah. And he just forgot to seek God.
Mm.
Now, notice what he says in verse 9. Verse 9 is a key verse for the whole book of Chronicles. For the eyes of the Lord range throughout the earth to strengthen those whose hearts are fully committed to him. Why did they find God when they sought after him? Because he was seeking them. And he was not looking at outward activity, but at their heart. And when he finds a heart that seeks after him, notice what it says. He wants to strengthen them.
Mm-hmm.
And when he strengthens them, they are successful. But you have done a foolish thing. And from now on, you will have war. Now, how should you respond if the prophet comes to you and says, you have done something foolish? The plan
Repent.
worked. The plan worked, but you just forgot about God. And that was foolish. How should you respond?
I guess repent.
Repent. I'm sorry, I forgot. Verse 10. Asa was angry with the seer because of this. He was so enraged that he put him in prison. At the same time, Asa brutally oppressed some of the people. You see the problem with Asa? He believed his press reports, and he forgot. The events of Asa's reign from the beginning to end are written in the book of Kings of Judah and Israel. In the 39th year of his reign, Asa was afflicted with a disease in his feet. Though the disease was severe, even in his illness, he did not seek help from the Lord, but only from the physicians. And then in the 41st year of his reign, Asa died and rested with his fathers. They buried him in the tomb that he cut out for himself in the city of David, and they laid him on a bier covered with spices and various blended perfumes, and they made a huge fire for him in his honor. How would you evaluate Asa?
I think he started off well, but he didn't finish well.
Mm.
Or maybe, yeah, I don't know where the relationship between God, also when he broke it with God, I guess that was the key, because he was seeking God and he
Sometime
stopped.
between his 15th year and his 35th year, something went wrong.
But the Bible doesn't explain.
The Bible doesn't explain. It only describes what happened.
And this prophet, this seer, I think he was not always around, so
we don't know. We don't know. We know that Hanani was there, and we know before Azariah was there.
Well, his name was Oded.
He was the son of Oded.
Oh,
Azariah, the son of
wait,
Oded.
a son of
Azariah.
Azariah, but it's not the same as Hanani, right?
No,
Yeah, it's a different one.
two different prophets.
Two different prophets. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So maybe there was no prophet to correct him or bring him back to God. Yeah.
Oh, Dolly. But he had something else. What did we have?
The temple, the
He
word.
had
I
the
don't know.
Torah
Okay, yeah. And the priests were there.
and the priests. So he had all the opportunity in the world.
And the priests were not good either, so I guess they
up to now, what he did is he sent priests throughout the land and had them teach the Torah. Did you notice the covenant? They were supposed to notice what it said. They took a covenant to seek the Lord with their whole heart and soul. And he didn't. He forgot.
He broke the covenant.
He broke the covenant. And I think that's part of the purpose in Chronicles. Did you see the pattern? God is gracious and gives rest and blesses. His people work for his glory. And God blesses. And then something happens. People forget. And when they forget to seek God, the blessings go away. And so you remember, this book is written to people who have come back into the land. They have been sent back. They are in the time of Ezra and Nehemiah. They are working. They don't have idolatry. But their danger is doing everything ritually correct without their heart. Now, I like this verse. Did you notice what it says? For the eyes of the Lord range throughout, did you say the earth? Not just Judah, throughout the earth. He's looking in Germany. He's looking in Hessen. He's looking in Wetzlar. He's looking in Münchhausen. He's looking at two people there. And he's not interested in what type of car I have. He's interested in what type of heart I have. Did you notice he's not looking for a perfect heart? He's looking for someone's heart who is fully committed to him. And when he finds a heart like that, he says, I can help you. You want to seek me? I can help you. Because while you're seeking me, I've been on the search for you. And that's why people find God, because he's been on the search for them. And Asa is tragic. He's just a tragic figure. He was foolish. He underestimated God and overestimated himself. At the end of his life, God gave him one more chance. Will you seek me when you have a severe illness? Did you notice? He did not seek help from the Lord, but only from the physicians. Now, it's not wrong to go to doctors. That's not what I'm saying. But only to trust in the physicians and not in God. That's foolish. And Asa is a tragic figure. In Kings, he's great because he's answering the question, is Asa at fault for the downfall of the kingdom? No, he's not at fault. In Kings, in Chronicles, are we in danger of being like Asa? Answer, yes. We are foolish. We believe our own press report. We overestimate our ability, and we underestimate how desperately we need God. See, Asa, yeah, it's just a tragedy. I wish it were different. See the two different ways that they're prescribed, seen? Let me conclude with 3 things. Perseverance matters more than a strong start. Perseverance doesn't mean being passive. It means being active. Faithfulness produces blessing. When we seek God, God is seeking us, and we find him. And unfaithfulness invites discipline. Incomplete reforms leads to spiritual vulnerability. You know, see in Kings, incomplete led to taking of the silver, and in Chronicles, we see more of it. It's already there in Kings. It's just not spelled out. In Chronicles, we see everything.
Can you say that sentence again?
In Chronicles, in Kings, it's hinted at.
No, the sentence you said, a summarizing sentence. You said
Okay.
that.
Incomplete
Yeah.
reforms leads to spiritual vulnerability.
Okay.
Incomplete reforms leads to spiritual vulnerability.
Okay. Reform, but
Or
say that.
incomplete change, or
Okay.
incomplete obedience to God's word
Okay.
leads to difficulties.
Okay. So the things that he didn't do, these Asherah pole or
Yes.
whatever he didn't do, so that was partly.
Yes. And at the very end, he rejects the prophet's message. Now, let me conclude with one more thing. When you read the Bible, well, I have a nephew who said, I don't like to read the Bible because it makes me feel guilty. I don't like to go to church because it makes me feel guilty. And I don't like feeling guilty. I like feeling good about myself. Whenever you read the Bible, its purpose is to produce change. Of taking something that is not pleasing to God and making it pleasing to God. And it is painful. But not doing that is foolish. So when you read the Bible and God's Spirit says, buddy, this is something you need to change, you're put in the position of King Asa. Are you going to seek God and be found by him and say, yes, you're right? Or are you going to say, no, thank you. That's not for me. And that's the lesson of King Asa.